that up next. It's time for Truth or Fake. Catalina Marchand-Abreu is here in studio. Catalina, in today's edition, Donald Trump's immigration raids, they fueled misinformation on social media. Tell us what exactly you've been seeing.
Since returning to the White House, President Donald Trump has made it clear that he wants to deport as many migrants as possible, at least 10 to 11 million migrants from the United States, according to his latest remarks. Donald Trump even announced that his administration has now lifted the practice of avoiding immigration raids at protected locations such as schools, colleges, churches, and hospitals, as the Homeland Security just recently announced that criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. This anti-migrant speech has fueled fear, anxiety, and alarm on social media as users have been sharing videos allegedly showing these immigration raids all over the United States. Let's start with this viral video on TikTok allegedly caught in Chicago, where we see construction workers appearing to flee a January 2025 immigration raid, with the caption in the video in Spanish that translates to "Immigration fell on them at work." Then we head on to a second part of this clip that's being shared on TikTok that shows other illegal workers allegedly also being arrested on their workplace. Then we have a second video on X showing the ICE beginning these operations, as mentioned, in schools where we following Donald Trump's recent orders, where here they say to search for undocumented children by identifying their parents and initiating deportation, according to the warning of this user on X. Finally, we've also seen a viral photos, images like these going around on X, here seen over 10 million times on the platform. An ICE agent allegedly grabbing this crying girl in a school. So a popular claim that's been going around, a photo that surfaced as the Trump administration begins its mass migrant deportation plans.
You might then debunk these images for us, Catalina. Where do they really come from?
Well, Sharon, let's begin with this first video that allegedly shows construction workers fleeing their work site. No credible report suggests that this video is recent. It's actually what we found. It's actually been circulating online since at least 2022, December 2022. Here we see the same version on TikTok. A video that, according to Lead Stories Geolocation Services, was taken in a Tyson, Virginia suburb of Washington, D.C. So there's no further information on this video that provides no evidence that these workers were fleeing immigration raids in January 2025. Finally, as to the second part that we saw in this clip, not recent either. It actually dates back to August 2022 when a shooting took place in front of this ice cream parlor, causing the movement that we saw on the video that was shown in the viral claim. Finally, the images that we saw outside this school, allegedly people waiting for their children to be deported. These images are actually recent from last Wednesday, January 23rd, when a shooting took place in a Tennessee high school where a teen fatally shot a 16-year-old girl, himself, as we see concerned family members waiting outside for their kids. That's what we actually were seeing in the video. And finally, this image that we saw of this little girl crying in the arms of an ICE agent, an image that, as X points out, is an AI-generated image created using artificial intelligence, images that have no connection with Trump's recent immigration raids.
Finally then, Catalina, what we're seeing online, are we actually seeing any evidence of any of that in reality?
Well, Sharon, there have been horrific images coming out of these recent raids. Brazil, for instance, was outraged after these images were made public, where we see 88 of their nationals that arrive handcuffed following their deportation from the United States. There have also been Mexican influencers online posting lists or maps of supposed alert in real time of the ICE interventions. Here, seen over 6.3 million times on TikTok, debunk, which is proof of the anxiety of these populations that fear deportation in the United States. But how justified are these fears that we see online, really? Chicago, for example, keeps popping up on claims a sanctuary city threatened by Trump since it refuses to cooperate with the Trump-ordered mass deportation raids. And yet, to this point, city officials and local media actually report no spectacular or massive operation out of the normal against undocumented migrants in particular. The same can't be said for cities like Newark in the United States that has indeed seen immigration raids in businesses. However, Chicago's case, some say this was all a bluff, maybe Trump just trying to create fear amongst foreigners. This could be confirmed if we look at the initial data of these raids. Last week, the White House actually reported that a spokeswoman indicated that 538 illegal immigrants had been arrested in the U.S. Since Donald Trump's inauguration and hundreds expelled in Army planes. If we look at the data under the Biden administration, in January 2024, the ICE reports that 8,591 people were arrested. This totals to about 275 arrests per day, a figure pretty much equivalent to the record that is so proudly displayed by the Trump clan in 2024. We actually saw the highest number of deportations during the Biden administration that matches that of the Trump administration. This is not to say that these numbers won't increase as the raids continue. Sharon.
Carolina, thanks so much for that. Do stay with us. We'll be right back with more world news.
In the Philippines,